If S is the sum of the reciprocals of the consecutive integers from 91 to 100 inclusive, which of the following is less than S? And I have pre-underlined less than S. So we got to keep this in mind. So if it was asking me to find the sum of the integers from 91 to 100, that would be great, because that is a consecutive set. I love consecutive sets. But this is not asking me to find the sum of 91 to 100. It's asking for the reciprocals, and so the reciprocals would be 1 over 91 plus 1 over 92 plus 1 over 93 plus 1 over 94 plus 1 over 95 plus 1 over 96 plus 1 over 97 plus 1 over 98 plus 1 over 99 plus 1 over 100. Couple of things here. If I wanted to arrange this set in ascending order, which I usually like to do, it would actually be the reverse of this, right? Because 1 over 100 is the smallest number in our set. 1 over 91 is actually the biggest, because we're dividing by the smallest number here. So I'm going to flip this, actually. So if we had 91 plus 92 plus 93 plus 94 all the way through 100, that would be a consecutive set, because we would be going up by 1 each time. Here, we do not have a consecutive set, because these intervals here, while they are all very close to each other, they're not all the same. So how are we going to find? We're going to have to find a way, I would say, to estimate what this sum is. And so one thing we can do, I think, is we can say, even though it's not a consecutive set, it's close enough. And so we can use our properties of consecutive sets to find the sum. And that number, while it won't be the exact sum of this set, should be close enough, because even though these intervals are not all the same, they're all very close to each other. And so if I wanted to say, so the sum should be my mean times my number of terms. And if I have a consecutive set, I can estimate my mean as my median. So I don't have that here, so my mean isn't going to be my median, but it will be close enough. And so where is that median? It will be right here, right? In between these two guys. So that would be 1 over 95.5. I'm going to estimate that as my mean. It's approximately 1 over 95.5. And then I have 10 terms, so the sum should be around 10 over 1 over 95.5 times 10 should be about 10 over 95.5. I want to get everything in terms of 1 over, right? Because that's what all my answer choices are. So if I divide by 10 here, 10 over 95.5 should be the same as about 1 over 9.55. Okay, and so based on this, it looks like 1 and 2 are going to be greater than this, and 1 over 10 is only going to be the only one less than. So I would say C. And remember, this is an estimation. How else could we do this? If we just want to find values, so what is, we just want to find a range for which S can be in between. We can say, what would this sum be if all of my terms were, say, 1 over 100? The 1 over 100 is the smallest value in this list. So if I assumed all of my values are 1 over 100, I know my actual value has to be more than that, right? And so if they were all 1 over 100, you would get 10 over 100 is your sum. And that would be 1 over 10. And so we know S has to be greater than 1 over 10. And if we wanted to say, well, what do we know S has to be less than? Well, say I assumed all of my numbers were 1 out of 90. So it only goes to 1 over 91. And so if I assumed all of these terms are 1 over 90, that would certainly be a greater sum than what I have here, because all of my numbers are less than 1 over 90. So if I did that, my sum would be 10 over 90, which is 1 over 9. And so I know S has to be less than that. So S has to be less than 1 over 9 and greater than 1 over 10. And so if it's less than 1 over 9, it's also got to be less than 1 over 8. And so based on this, the only number less than S is going to be 1 over 10, so C as well. So either those are two ways of doing this. This is a hard question because there's really no way to be 100% sure either of those will work until you do it. C.